Okay, so we're here inside a fairly old-looking subway car, and we want to talk about the excursions
Yes.
on the Trinidad Government Railway,
Right.
and in particular down the Talparo line that went down to Rio Claro.
No, my first experience with trains was not a pleasant one. Because I am accustomed to the tram cars and the trolley buses. And one of my mother took me into this building, which we know as a railway station. And we went to board this what people know as a train. I said, but this looks like my father's old toy trains under the house. I said, it looks big, but it has the same wheels and so on, just like the little. And so she took me inside of it, and then it started to move and make a noise, and I think I cried because I made a lot of noise because I was not accustomed to this noise and the whistle and so on, and shaking from side to side. I was scared, and from that time, I was scared of trains. I was a little boy. Every time I go by the railway station, I'm nervous, and so. But after I get a little older, this fear would have left me a little by little.
But you told me a good story too about fear, about the fire brigade.
Oh, the fire engines.
You used to think about the fire engines.
Yes, my grandmother read to me from the Bible, a book about the Bible. And it talked about the flood. How God destroyed the world by a flood because of people's wickedness. And they said that this time you're going to destroy it by fire.
Right.
By fire. One day they took us to a cinema, Empire Theatre, and St. Vincent Street to see a show called Oliver Twist. To see a film called Oliver Twist. And not long after that, I went home from school one evening, one afternoon, and we heard the fire engine, the fire siren. No, the fire truck by us used to ring a bell. On Robert Street had a fire station, and the one from the main fire services headquarters and in Port of Spain, they used to blow the siren. So we heard the siren and the bell for fire, and my uncle Malcolm say, Empire Theatre burning down. So I remember that situation where I went to see Oliver Twist. So when I went to the gallery, what people call the veranda, and look up so and I see this black thick smoke. For the first time in my life, I saw black thick smoke, and I don't know what caused me to get that dread. I felt a dread I can't explain up to this day. I don't know why I felt so like it was the end of the world for me as a child, you know. I couldn't describe. I can't describe the feeling. A sick, gloomy feeling come up over me, and I couldn't say. I thought the fire trucks used to burn the house down. So every time I hear the fire, I scared the house would burn down. So go back to the trains now. So I used to be nervous around the railway station all the time. I didn't like the noise and the steaming, the whistle, and it used to scare me. Then one day, my mother's aunt, she belonged to Church of God, they took us on an excursion to Rio Claro. That time, the fear of the train was leaving me little by little, and we took the train at Port of Spain as usual. We took those old wooden carriages with a footboard, the step on, you know, they had doors, many doors. And the boys used to stop these carriages and get somebody to get a foot injured and cut off. Anyhow, we went, the train took us on the journey to Jerningham Junction, then it branched off to Rio Claro to go to the tunnel, through the tunnel. And when it reached the tunnel, they turned on the light in the carriage. And when we reached Rio Claro, we got out and they went on a long walk to an old lady's house. And my mother's aunt paid for the old lady. I was just remembering what happened, the gist of what, you know, in a nutshell, what took place. Then we came back. The other trains there, the people came from other places and to this journey to Rio Claro. There were the locomotives, and there were the boys watching the locomotives and pointing at the different parts of the locomotives. And they think I saw a turntable where they would turn the engine around, you know. I enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed the ride home. Then years after that, we had neighbors opposite. Miss Irene, we call her even Miss Irene, and Glenn and Muna. Miss Irene, when they were at 70 Adventist people, they invited us to an excursion to Cuba. So we went again to the railway station. Of course, in all these cases, we took the trolley bus to go to the railway station.
Right.
And we boarded the train, and when we reached Cuba, we took a long walk to school. And my mother said, why don't you eat? I had no appetite. Eat. I wouldn't eat at all. Then when we came back now to go home, the boys would get up, would go on the track, the train line, and walk. You know what they call it? One foot in front of the other one on the train. I wouldn't try that. I didn't want to do that, but the boys were doing that. I said, not me and that at all. I don't want to get crushed. You know. Then the train came and took us back. You
remember the engine?
Yes, the locomotive was steam engines.
Yeah.
I don't remember the numbers, but it was steam engines.
But you told me on that journey you saw a couple of other engines, right? The 41 or...
Oh yes, when we were that's another journey I took again when I was a more adult now.
Right.
We went to Rio Claro again through the tunnel, and when we reached Johnnycombe Junction, there was 41 engine 41 there, and other locomotives. I think they must have been a shuttle. I don't know. You know,
that's the one with the cane that the boys were pulling out that time,
I think so. I think because when the train was going one way, another train passed another way, and they pulled the cane on it. I remember my aunt. Before all that, my aunt and her cousins, they took me on a ride to San Fernando train, the excursion or something. This time these was a diesel engine pulling the train.
Right.
And when we reached San Fernando, we got out on of course on the journey we saw other trains going back to Port of Spain.
Right.
You know. When we reached San Fernando,
what year would that have been? You remember?
It might have been 52, 53, around there.
The railway was quite busy in that time, huh?
Yes. And we got off the train, we walked up to Harris High Street to see what San Fernando was like. And I saw the fire station. When I saw the fire station, I trembled.
That was your first visit to San Fernando?
Yes, first visit to San Fernando, yes. And then, then we came back down. I think we took lunch and everything with us, you know. They would cook. Many of them go on these journeys, they would cook and carry lunch.
Right.
You know, so then we came back down and got the train to go back to Brook. And I remember after my mother left for England, my brother's wife came and took us on an excursion to Aruca, a train excursion to Aruca.
What year was that? Do you remember?
I think 54.
1954.
Yes.
Okay.
The church went on an excursion to Aruca. So she came and got us the early Sunday morning, and we went at Travis Road, got a trolley bus, number 23. I'll never forget the number. We went to the railway station. We got out, we got the train, we went to Aruca on the excursion. It was 5 Rivers.
5 Rivers,
yeah,
Aruca.
We got on the train and went on a long journey up a street, and then we went to a farm. And the children were playing, but I didn't feel too good about it because the cow droppings on the ground. I didn't feel to eat around cow droppings, you know. And I didn't want to play around cow droppings and so on. Then we came back, we got the train, and we came back to the railway station, Port of Spain, took the trolley bus again to go back home. I remember my mother took me to a wedding in San Fernando, but we took a taxi because I didn't want to ride the train at the time.
Right.
That was, you know, and then when we were coming back from the wedding, I think the bus, we took a bus. It dropped us at Chaguanas to take another bus. Well, where it dropped us? No, I think it was at San Fernando station. We saw the chimney of locomotives. We saw the smoke. I think it was kitchen engines.
Right,
we saw
right.
the long chimneys. Yes. Then we took a blue bus to Chaguanas and then transferred to another bus to Port of Spain. And those days the buses, the railway had buses. Yes, but that's what I remember as a child. But when I became an adult, I just was fascinated by the trains more and more. And when I got my own apartment in St. Joseph, I used to take train to go to and from Port of Spain. And when I come home on evenings, or even if I didn't go anywhere, I would go on the lookout in St. Joseph just to see the train leave St. Joseph to go to Curep. You know, the steam engine more so.
Right.
You know, because they had stopped the San Fernando service and they still had the Arima service. And they kept 2 steam engines, number 28 and number 42. And I was starting to watch them when they pulling the carriages going to and from.
Yeah.
You know, it was I was sorry when they stopped the railway. I tell you, I was sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strikes and the rats, though I wasn't there, was the most regrettable affair. I'll now entertain you with a song. I don't know who is right or who is wrong.